So I'm just going to very quickly update you on the status of guidance and a few other items. As we mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, the Next Way Site Cleanup Advisory Committee has been scheduled for Thursday, December 17th, here, same location. I wanted to also announce, I think Paul probably mentioned this at the September LSPA annual meeting, but the department has launched a green remediation leadership recognition program. This is following on the changes we made to the regulations to incorporate consideration of greener cleanup assessment and remediation measures as part of the cleanup. It's under the RAPS requirement at 40.0191. We've been trying to gather some good examples of greener remediation, and really just in the last year, a lot of new good work has been happening. Tom Potter did a session out at Amherst yesterday on this, and what we'd like to do is build examples that everyone can draw upon. But we're calling for people to kind of submit their suggestions to us or examples, I think by the end of June, and then we'll spend the summer taking a look at that. The Greener Remediation Work Group, which includes department staff, Tom and Susan Fessenden, as well as a group of LSPs, and then have the first recognition award announced at the LSPA meeting next September. So in case you hadn't heard of that, I just wanted to draw your attention to that in case you're interested. Is that working?
It works very well.
Oh, too well. I'm sorry. In terms of progress on guidance, we are still working towards our goal to get the guidance out and actually get it done and kind of put that part of things behind us for the time being. Recent emails, we had a more vague goal of fall 2015. That remains our goal. Probably one thing to note is that we will be posting a revised draft of the NAPL document. Should be out next week, and we are tentatively scheduled to hold a meeting on November 12th, Thursday, November 12th at 10 here to discuss that draft. You'll probably get a week's time, a little more to look at it, but we will be going over what's changed from the last draft as part of that meeting, and then giving some additional time after that for some comment. Matt?
Will that draft guidance have the magic transmissivity number in it? The value?
It a single number?
Yes. Well, the number that could not be, Mr. Mara could not share with us at the transmissivity course.
Mr. Mara's in the back of the room, so I'll let. It's 0.8.
Thank you.
So I guess yes. In addition to the AUL and vapor intrusion documents, we are also working to put out a first public hearing draft on historic fill. Pat Donahue, we're happy to say, is back for just a short time on a couple of days a week. So we hope to get her help in preparing that draft to put that out. And we have that in the same fall timeframe to get that out. Finally, I wanted to mention on telemetry systems and those that have registered with the department as telemetry systems in operation at the site. We're continuing to QC the types of information that's coming into us and looking at issues with that. You probably, many of you saw or may have actually participated in the LSPA survey on telemetry systems. I think there were 70 respondents to that survey. It provided really good information to us in terms of how much people know about what the requirements are, what difficulties they're running into, and potential areas where we could help in terms of improving the information on the requirements, and also looking at how the systems are set up to communicate with the department, if we can simplify or streamline that. So that's part of an ongoing process. I've been working with Isaac Anderson as my point of contact with the LSPA Technical Practices Group on that issue. So there's more to come on that, but I wanted to let you know that if you have one of these systems and you do have it registered with us, you may be getting a phone call from MassDEP. I think Matt Cogliano is the person doing those calls to talk to you about how your system's set up, and if he's identified any issues in terms of our getting communication from that system, he'll hopefully be able to walk you through what kind of changes may need to be made. So any questions on any of that? Wes?
On the historic fill, is the department going to make a statement about how you should be handling the bust, I'll call it, in the regulation change that says that if you've got wood ash and coal ash on your site and you can't attribute it to fill, it no longer fits the anthropogenic definition?
I haven't specifically seen wording to address that, but we do know about the bust.
But what should the practice be doing in the interim?
I guess I'm not prepared to speak on that. I just not all that clear on that issue. I know it's one we've identified for a regulatory fix. Paul, are you more articulate on that?
I was just seeing who is calling.
Oh, okay. I guess honestly, Wes, I just have to punt on that for now, because I'm not prepared to say anything intelligent. Not that stopped me from all the other things I've just said.
What is the disconnect?
Well, according to the way the regulations are written right now, if you've got a release of wood ash and coal ash you can't attribute to fill, you can't claim it as background.
So it takes away from the current exemption.
You have to notify. You
So-
have to
so-
notify is the difference. You
Not
can't-
only notify, but you can't take it out of the risk characterization process.
Well, that part I don't think was the intent.
I know it's not the intent, but the
Right.
regulations as written.
Right.
So people are, have to deal with it now. So I would think the department could at least put out some sort of statement while we're waiting for the reg change to correct it, as to what you might be able to do.
So what I can say is that
We will have a statement about that in the draft on how to deal with that.
So if you take the reporting exemption, you can't take the anthropogenic fill connect? You can't-
It's one of those kind of definitional disconnects, and
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
and I couldn't describe it for you now, but it was unintentional. and
Apparently I
it's-
missed it anyway.
Just go on, do what you do normally.
But then it's historic fill. Historic fill is automatically
Yes, if Wes hadn't pointed it out, everybody would have been just going along like Elliot.
Everything would have been fine.
Thanks, Wes.